Hi guys, so this is a video of the extra review sheet that you can do if you choose. Obviously, if you're watching this, you have chosen to do it. All right, so the first group of questions says identify the type of function. So this first one, this is called an exponential function. And the reason I know that is because the variable, or the x, is an exponent. The next one would be considered linear. And you know this because it has the look of y equals mx plus b. Okay, then the next one is also exponential. So what's the difference between the two exponentials that are on the paper? Well, this first one, it has a growth because that is 1.25, which is bigger than 1. And the second one here, that's decay because it is between 0 and 1. All right. You can also bop them into your calculator and look at the pictures. Okay. If you purchase a car for $8,000 and 3 years later, the car's value is $6,000, what is the percent decrease? This is the good old formula that you used back in 7th grade, new minus old over old times 100. So 6,000 minus 8,000 over 8,000 times 100. And if you purchase would be original, okay? So now you are going to get a negative answer, but you are not going to put a negative in your percent because the word decrease takes care of it being negative. All right. And that's 25%. So you would say 25% decrease. So even though you get a negative answer, you don't write the negative, you use the word decrease instead. Okay, if you purchase a coat on sale for 20% off plus 6% tax, what is the final cost if the original price is $120? Well, 20% off is the same as paying for 80% of it. So I'm going to do 120 times 0.80. Back to my calculator. That's $96. So that would be called like the sales price or the net price. And then the final cost would be adding the 6%. So that would be 96 times 1.06. Now I'm doing it in one step. You could do it in two steps by finding the 6% and then adding it on. So that's 101.76. So it's $101.76. Okay, so like I said, you could do this in one step, which would be deducting the percent from the 100% or adding the percent onto the 100%, or you can do it in two steps. You would find 20% of the coat price, subtract it, then find 6% of the sales price and add it. A population of bacteria is increasing at a rate of 12.5% per hour. If there were originally 250 bacteria, how much was there after n hours? So I'm going to say f of n. You could also say y. And this is the initial value. And now it's increasing, so 1 plus 12%, 12.5% actually, and it's raised to the n. Simplify and write using positive exponents. So this is division, and when you divide, you keep the base, subtract the exponents. That's -3, which is equal to 1 over x to the third. Negative exponents are reciprocals. So if it's a negative exponent, to make it positive, you change it from the numerator to the denominator or vice versa. Okay, so simplify. You're going to do the exponent first. Remember PEMDAS? Okay, so 4 to the fourth is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4, which is, I think, 256, but I'm going to double check. 4 raised to the 4th. Yeah, 256. So 256 x to the 12th. When you have a power to a power, you multiply the exponents. Okay, so now I'm going to do the actual division. And when I divide, that should be 16, and it is. So final answer, 16. And now you subtract the exponents to get x to the fifth. Find the value of f of 2 when f of x equals. So I'm going to substitute in a 2. 3 parentheses 4. 2 minus 2 is the exponent. All right. So 2 minus 2 is 0. So I have an exponent of 0. So that's 3 to the 4th raised to the 0. Anything except for 0 raised to the 0 power is 1. So that's 3 times 1, which equals 3. You can also use your calculator. Find the value when x is 4. Okay. I happen to know 3 to the 4th is 81, but I'm going to use my calculator just to double check. All right. And then 3 times 81. And again, you can use your calculator for all of this. It's 243. All right. A population of bacteria has a half-life of 10 minutes. So that means half of it goes away every 10 minutes. If originally there were 2,000 bacteria, so gross, how much is there after 40 minutes? Well, 40 minutes is equal to 4 groups of 10 minutes. You could get that quickly by 40 divided by 10. And now I'm going to go to my calculator. My guess is like 250-ish, and I want to be right. So 2,000, 1/2 raised to the 4th. 125. I didn't have it enough. 125. Now, bacteria, you need a whole number, so that is a whole number, so that's a good answer. Okay. A bank is advertising an annual rate of 3.5% compounded annually, so that means there's no need to divide anything. If $2,000 is invested at that rate, so 1.035, how much money is in the account after 4 years? If you think I'm doing that in my head, you have more faith in me than I do. Okay. $2,295.05. I got the 5 cents from rounding. It was 0.046. 6 tells the 4 to change. And this is money, money. Okay, graph. All right, so I'm going to type that in my calculator using the y equals button. So 3 parentheses 2, close parentheses, raised to the x, and then add 1. So that plus 1 after, that's a shift. Remember, shift up. All right, so now I have to draw this. I'm going to go right about here. I'm going to go right about here. My x-axis. I'm going to go up here a little higher. And that's my y-axis. Second graph gives me the table. All right, and I'm going to do this in blue. All right, so -4 is a little bit above 1. 1, 2, 3, -1. A little bit above 1. And then a little bit more above 1. A little bit more above 1. Here it hits 2.5. And then here it hits 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now I'm getting some integer points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And I'm just copying it from my calculator. That's all. Just copying the list from my calculator. And then after 7, I get 2, 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. So here we go. And up arrow. I hope you can see that blue. All right, so that's my graph. All right, so what do I have to name here? I'm going to go back to a darker color. All right, so the end behavior. Okay, so the end behavior, that's what are the arrows doing? So the end behavior is decreasing to negative infinity and increasing to positive infinity. Because if you look at the left arrow, it's decreasing. If you look at the right arrow, it's increasing. The x-intercept, there is none. The y-intercept, I believe it was 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, which does make sense because it should have been a 3 according to the function, but there was a +1, and 3 + 1 = 4. So that does make sense. Okay, so the domain, all real numbers. And that's all I can fit. Okay, the range and the asymptote. So I'm going to write the word range, and I'm going to write the asymptote. Now, remember, normally the asymptote is y = 0, but this was shifted up 1. So the asymptote is going to be y = 0, which makes the range y = 1, which makes the range y is greater than 1. All right, last but not least, the average rate of change from 1 to 3. That's just slope. So 1 comma something, 3 comma something. All right, back to my table. 1 is with 7, and 3 is with 25. So 25 minus 7, that's 18. 3 minus 1, that's 2. So the average rate of change is 9. Okay, so picture making an imaginary, well, it doesn't have to be imaginary, you can actually draw it, a line from 1 to 3. What would be the slope of that line? All right, happy studying. Have a great night.